Kenny Bostick, Stu Preissler, and Brad Harris are all vying for the honor of Birder of the Year. They fly throughout the continent following migration patterns and looking for storms that force birds to the ground. Who will triumph? At what cost? And for what rewards and prizes? Hello and welcome to Comedy Recap. Today we're going to give you a recap of the film The Big Year, which is a movie from the comedy genre. A hilarious film that will make you laugh so much that your stomach will hurt. So sit back and enjoy the movie. Without further ado, let's dive right into it. The movie starts off with the message saying that this movie is based on a real story. Then we see a jungle where there are many birds. These birds are then explained by our narrator. Firstly, he tells us about the female ruby-throated hummingbird, which is plain Jane. Then he talks about her migration, and how she eats continuously during the weeks leading up to it. This is because during the migration journey, in order to survive, she needs to eat and double her body weight. On the other hand, according to the narrator, the sooty shearwater must lose its weight before migrating, with the goal of shedding half his body weight. On that note, the scene shifts to a Baltimore computer programmer, Brad Harris, who is eating like a madman. The narrator says that he also needs to lose weight. However, he also adds that Brad has a demanding job, a brutal schedule, precious little willpower, and most importantly, that all-consuming secret life of a birder. Brad is an expert birder who can identify almost any species just only on sound. He despises his job, which entails managing the nuclear power plant's operational software in Lansdale, Pennsylvania. After a failed marriage, a failed career at Dell, and dropping out of grad school, he thinks that completing a big year will give him a sense of purpose and perhaps make his father proud of him. Then the narrator tells us about the big year. In the 19th century, Americans celebrated Christmas with a contest on who would kill the most birds in a single day. Frank Chapman suggested that rather than killing the birds, they should count the birds. This resulted in the creation of the Big Year, which was a competition to see the greatest number of birds in North America in a single year. Currently, Kenny Bostick, a roofing contractor, owns the current Big Year record of 732 birds. Many thought that Kenny's record will remain forever. Bostick is obsessed with his record, but his third wife Jessica is worried because this was supposed to be the year they concentrated on starting a family. She also feels that Bostick's fixations with bird is what ended his past two marriages. Others refer to him as Bostick, because he is so fiercely competitive. And he is right, as all the others are trying to beat the number of 732. Besides Brad, there is Stu. Stu is the creator and CEO of a massive chemical conglomerate situated in Manhattan that he developed from the ground up, starting in his garage. He is preparing to retire to Colorado with his architect wife after decades of corporate success. He returned from a previous retirement because of fear of an empty schedule, but now he wants to leave his company in the hands of his two lieutenants. His wife supports the decision, as she says that she will always support him. Later, they throw a party where Stu's son congratulates his mom and dad on being amazing at their jobs and as a parent. Later, he reveals that Stu is not the only one who is going to have a big year, as his wife is pregnant, and Stu is going to be a grandfather. As a result, the two embrace. The scene shifts and we see Kenny drinking coffee when he calls his informant regarding birds. After giving the code, he initiates the call. Then he is informed that there has been the second sighting of the Nuttings flycatcher at the Patagonia Lake State Park. Upon hearing this, Kenny quickly runs away, trying to reach the state park as soon as possible. The scene shifts and we see Stu out skiing with his family. He and his son are very competitive. They ski together. However, while skiing, he starts his bird watching as he too has started his big year. He adds Magpie and Raven as his first two birds. He keeps on finding birds, which leads to his wife comically laughing with sarcasm. Then we switch back to Kenny, who has entered the state park and is searching for the nutting flycatcher. There are other birders in this place too, and like Kenny, are roaming here and there with their binoculars, trying to find the bird. In the end, he manages to find it, and there are many cameramen who follow him to get a shot of the rare bird. Day 1 of the big year of the 3 ends with 27 birds for Stu, 31 birds for Kenny, and 1 bird for Brad, who still has not started as he does not have the funds. Brad then asks his dad for $5,000 as he needs the funds to go out for his big year. However, Brad's father is annoyed as Brad is 36 years old. He has quit college, he quit his marriage, and he later quit his job. His father wants him to do something worthwhile. Brad, however, gets angry and shouts that this is what he wants to do since he is obsessed with birds. He then goes to his boss the next day, who tells him he has to work overtime to cover the missed work due to his big year. He reluctantly agrees. The scene changes and we see Stu, who also calls his informant, After giving his code, he learns that the Zontu's hummingbird has been seen in a backyard in Gibson's, British Columbia. Meanwhile, his bird count is up to 157, and it is day 44 of the year. He then goes to a house where the Zontus can be found. While he talks to the owner of the house, an old lady, Kenny sneaks up from behind him and goes over the side of the house, watches the Zontus, and runs back to his car undetected. Stu, after talking with the lady, finally goes toward the Zontus, but couldn't pass the wooden door separating him from the bird. Meanwhile, his two successors keep calling him back to New York for critical meetings since the company is in the middle of a lengthy merger negotiation with a competitor. To some sense, he is a prisoner of his own success. He lets them know that he is busy with his birdwatching and cannot help them. Later, he finally finds the Zontu's hummingbird. On the other hand, Brad has also started his big year. He is sitting in a deserted place where he can recognize birds really quickly thanks to his ability to know which bird is close by. He could recognize hundreds of species just by sound alone. As a result, he could recognize a bird very quickly, and thus his bird tally has quickly grown to 131 birds, as he nears Kenny's and Stu's tally. The film depicts numerous situations that occur throughout the Big Year event, as the trio competes with one another and a large number of other birders to set the world record for sighting the most species. Brad and Stu become friends and assist one another in the competition, while Brad develops feelings for Ellie, a fellow birder. Meanwhile, Bostick, who is fiercely competitive, uses dirty techniques to increase his own score while denigrating the others. As the year draws to a close, Stu is enjoying his retirement and his new grandson. Brad begins a relationship with Ellie, and Bostick is alone after his wife leaves him. After each observation of 700 and plus bird species that year, Stu and Brad, now great friends, congratulate one another on a very large year. When the big year results are released, Bostick will have set a new record with 755, followed by Brad and Stu. As he looks at Ellie, who has arrived for a weekend visit, Brad says he, Bostick, got more birds, but we got more everything. Looking at his wife, Stu smiles. Brad and Ellie are seen bird watching together on a rocky shoreline at the end of the film, and Brad admits that birding is no longer his main hobby. In the Rockies, Stu is trekking with his little grandson, who is already fascinated by birds. Bostick is alone on a birding trip in China, wishing for a happy couple walking with their newborn child. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more movies like this. Thanks for watching.